Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2020. Today we're going to deal with the trauma of Manchester United absolutely bottling things in the Europa League final by taking out our pain on poor unassuming Baroka and FC San Pedro, two clubs that well, actually I think Baroka are actually pretty well positioned in the league this year. 10th, not really. They're better than usual. Usually they're just barely out of relegation, but they're not that strong opposition. Unfortunately, we tend to do worse against not strong opposition this year, so hopefully that curse doesn't come up today. We have our new wingers who have been performing fantastically for us, and I'm hoping that continues, so we'll see how things go. Mahoa is the takeaway of the stunning debut from Mamazulu. In this, I mean, Mahoa was good, but Moses was involved in everything. I would have thought he would have been the one that they got super excited about. I mean, he put in a 9.7. Mahoa only put in an only. Mahoa put in a 9.0. They were both phenomenal debuts. Nice to see our lower teams getting results. It's always rough when you see them getting absolutely battered for a season. You can't really do anything about it because you don't coach them. And you can see, like, looking at our training schedule, I was saying last time that the second half of the season is so much easier. We tend to get reasonable amounts of rest between games. I suspect this is going to change closer to the day of, but sure, I'll bring them in. It is just Baroka. This might be all I need to bring. Rest people for the more important matches coming up. Yeah, we're the firm favorites, so we might be just playing lower ranked. They might just want to play lower ranked players because they're not super worried about Baroka. And apparently Mathi Bantwa also hates that coach, so he's incentivized to want to be in my team. I don't really let stuff like that affect my decisions. 4 to 5 attacks they want. I currently have 3. Let's see if I can make No, I can't make Senamela as an attacker. Matenjwa, you can, but you'll be a little worse. You can, but I can make Stano an attacking inverted winger without lowering his ability at all. We'll do that. I think one of the most important things you can do in this game is get yourself a good head coach and a good assistant coach, and it takes a lot of the decision making off of you, and you can kind of blow through and just manage the games. If you've got a bad assistant coach, you have to do a lot of the stuff that I'm just clicking through in like 2 seconds for yourself. But after 8 years at the club, I've gotten myself a pretty good support squad in place. I'm perfectly comfortable letting all of these guys go to the under 21s. I don't intend on using any of them. Apparently, Okuma Kivituka is ready to be called up to the main squad. That's always an exciting moment. He's only 19 too, so it's not that he's aged out of every other squad. He's just good enough to be considered for us. And because he's so young, he doesn't count towards our registered players. So we might actually use him once in a while. Coming in, Duncliffe is fine. His fitness test isn't even required. Migwigwe is not quite fully fit, so we'd have to keep an eye on him, and same with Cabway, but no one's actually limited on minutes they can play. Good conditions for a match, none of the stupid hot weather we were dealing with for December. Yeah, it was December. Good, well, not good, but the pitch is holding up better than it has in the last couple of years. And yeah, we can bring Akuma Kivituka right into the main squad. I'm surprised we're actually not. They actually don't want to change the wingers up at all. There we go. Not the best defensive line we could name. Minkube's not very good. Mirosevic is not quite at the level we'd want. Senamela is actively pretty bad in the role we've got him playing today. Ikuma Kivituka, that's how you say it, is decent but not great. But then we've been struggling at left wing back for a while, so it's nice to at least have a second person that's capable of playing that role. Manuzzi's not quite as good as we'd like, and Nixele is actually pretty terrible as a deep lying forward. Can I make him better if I put him as a false 9? It looks like it's the same. Yeah, he's the same as if he's a false 9. I'll keep him as a deep lying forward. We've been playing that more recently. And they trained with him as a deep lying forward. So we don't really have a true striker for this match. That could make scoring happy. We're going to put a lot of pressure on Stano and Matenjwa to get us there. Maybe even Tau. The big hope for goals is going to be Stano because I've got that whole side of the field on attack, so hopefully they can funnel it up through Minkubi and Sefema to him, and he can actually get us a couple of goals this game. So far, he's been good for about 1 goal a game. And also, with our defense being as flimsy as it is here, that 1 goal may not be enough. Well, at least Tau's motivated for this. No one else cared about what we had to say. Not very much going on in this game, but that's not surprising given how flimsy our striking is for here. Because we don't have any good strikers ready to go for this game. Stano got that ball out to Tau nicely, though. Back to Stano, and there's the goal we were hoping to get from him. So his 3rd goal of the season, assisted by Tau. He is on a 1 goal a game pace. And this puts us up into 7th, or 2nd. Now we just have to hang on. Baroka's pitch is rather small, so it doesn't suit us terribly well either. Okay, I was hoping for a little more action in this game and not Baroka action, as we immediately got a highlight from them, but Mirosavic gets the ball back for us. We've fallen for third, back to third, just on goal differential, I assume. Or someone passed us. Wasn't really paying attention to updates from other teams, so I'm perfectly happy being in third. I was shooting for fourth this season, so third is good. Actually, even fourth's a little higher. And now Manuzzi got his first goal, assisted by Akuma Kivituka. So Akuma Kivituka is making an impact right away, and Manuzzi's good. I'm really happy with these signings we made during the mid-season. Feels like I'm managing a whole different side now. Like, I brought a bad team this week and we're up by 2. Five shots to nothing. They're trying to go narrow and just punch through now. Makes sense. This is a narrow pitch, but normally I wouldn't be very worried about that. With the defensive line I have in today, it might be a problem, because a focused attack will be running right into the worst guys on the pitch. Excluding Nixele at striker, who's not really fit to be playing that role, but I just didn't have a striker that I wanted to play today. Need to keep them rested for the African match. I'm glad I listened. Oh, Minkube picked up a knock. It's just a bruised ankle, though. Those aren't usually bad. I'm kind of glad I listened to the assistant manager and went with this team, even though I was skeptical, because it's working out for us, and it'll mean that our top players are ready for the next match, which, well, not much more difficult, is much more important. And we've somehow bounced back up into second, so it must be just goal differential. Nice play by Mirosavic there to outperform their number 9. I was just going to say, watch Nixele score now, just to show me up talking about how bad he is as a striker. But he's like the worst guy in the field, so I'm going to take him off now. We'll let Mati Bantois have a few moments in the sunlight. Minkube is actually showing that he's hurt, so that's a little concerning. Usually when they take a bruised ankle, it just goes right away. So the fact that he's actually still showing that he's hurt 10 minutes later means that this might be a more serious injury. We might be out for a week. I probably wasn't going to play him against San Pedro, but I don't like losing options in a key match. I'd say like we haven't already secured first place in that group. I don't know why I'm so worried about it. I think I just want to win in for pride. So we'll set Mati Bantois up. He is slightly better than Nixele. He's still pretty terrible as a striker, but we don't have a good striker available this week. We're just going to deal with it. All our good strikers are tired. Or injured or suspended. I think everyone's just tired. I don't recall any key suspensions for this game. Almost nice goal from Tau there. They're playing just well enough that I'm not fully comfortable at 2 goals. I don't think they'll come back, but it is possible. Fortunately, we do have Brian Nidlovu in goal, and he is always excellent. I think now we're going to take Matenjwa off and replace him with Moses. I'm going to try to get that third goal and really put things away. And Moses proved to be a very prolific winger. Oh yeah, you can see how much better he is than anyone else on our team. The only person close is Nidlovu. I'm not going to be able to salvage the defense with only 3 subs and making a conscious choice to bring a bad defensive line. So I just need to bolster the attacking side of things and try to get more goals. So far, they haven't broken my defense, but I'm very aware of the fact that they could, and I'd like to have more of a buffer. Dickens almost got one back there. Like, that was a very good strike. I'm not sure why we're going up through Manuzzi so much instead of Sefema. Sefema's the one I've got set to play attacking. Here we go. It's back with Stano, cross to Moses, and then into Monty Bantwa, where he was completely boxed off. I haven't looked at his full stats that closely, but Moses might not have the best decision making. Stano and Cinnamella are getting tired out there, and obviously Mankubi. I think I'm actually going to take Mirosevic off. He's not having a fantastic game. I'll put Mattia in for a few minutes, even though he's still very tired. I'm just getting too nervous. I want to have someone who's capable back there. And Mattia is actually a solid defensive player. I don't feel like I'm going to get that third goal, so I just really want to ensure that we win by 2. And instantly Mattia gets in good position, gets the ball. This is why I want the ball on the attacking side. The 2 supporting players didn't have the comfort to get through. Oh, that's why we're staying off attacking on the side that I've got set up for attacking. Of course, Mankubi's hurt. And so they're trying to avoid playing to him. And that means that they're not funneling up through the side that's set up for the attack. Now we're going to try it, even though he's limping a bit. He's got a pretty good run going here. And that took Johnson to save it. Manuzzi almost got his second. Now that we're into the 90th minute, I don't feel so bad about this. I'm not worried. The worst that'll happen is they'll get a goal. They're not getting 2. And we're above where I expected to be in the table, so I'm perfectly fine with just about any. Like, I don't want to fight too hard to hold on to second over third. Either way is better than I wanted it to be, so I'm happy with it. Akuma Kivituka is Really impressing me. They just don't seem to have the confidence to push through, though. They're looking at this, and everyone's just kind of nervous. That's what happens when I bring the weaker players. We're just not as aggressive as we were before. But it's fine. We won by 2. Ref had a good game. We had a good game. I'm happy with it. Akuma Kivituka made his competitive debut for us. Manuzzi scored his first goal for us. Manuzzi made his first ever league appearance for us. Dano scored his first goal for us. League goal for us. Nick Zelli made his 25th appearance for us. And Moses made his first ever league appearance for us. No milestones for Baroka. Everything was us. Yeah, I'm very happy with their efforts. I knew I brought a weaker side, and we still won by 2 goals. And Minkube isn't actually that badly hurt, so that's good. He'll be out for a day or 2. Manuzzi was our player of the match. That makes sense. He scored the second goal. What are you talking about? You got a player of the match. I hate it when they do that. You compliment them for being player of the match, and they're like, well, I wasn't that good. And then they get mad that you were condescending to them. I think I talked him down from getting mad, but still. It's going to be frustrating if he keeps putting in performances like that and then getting pissy when I congratulate him. Yeah, it was an 8.2 performance. Oh, I wasn't that good. Shut up, Marco. Nice to see Mathi Bantwa progressing nicely. Got a lot invested in him. I'd like to see him continue to perform well. That would have been a fun match, 5-4. Okay, this is the board telling me to stop spending so much money. They're like, please just use our youth development system. We can't afford the players you're bringing in. And we're going to take Mathia off the loan list because he's proving to be ready to play for us. Otladisa got a tight groin. It's unfortunate, but we probably weren't playing him in the next game. And he's only out for a day or 3. He might be back in time. Ward got injured. He's out for a day or 2. Bruised ankle. That's fine. He's just like a super sub. He can slot into a lot of places okay. So I like to have him on the bench, but I'm never going to be too upset if I don't have him for a game. Yeah, this is looking real good for a lineup to actually bring. I'm going to have to change around what everyone in the back end's doing, but Mirsavovich still sneaks into the team. He seems to always get in despite the fact that he's not fantastic at anything. I mean, we're going to body San Pedro here. The odds are firmly stacked against them. They're not having a very good run of form. We're just on a solid winning streak. Even though this is away, it's not going to be competitive. We're getting stuck in, so we're going to be tackling hard in this match. Although they did just bully El Marrakesh Oderman. Still, I think that more shows how bad El Marrakesh are this year than anything about San Pedro. Migwigwe is doing good in training. That's nice to see. Also, I haven't praised him for training for a while, so it's not like he's going to get frustrated with me. I think CB realizes his time with the club is almost over. He's been slacking in the last few training sessions. And I'm pretty much resigned to the fact that I'm not renewing his contract. I've upgraded the team so much that even though he was a key player in the early years, I'm kind of a club legend. We just can't keep him around anymore. He doesn't offer anything except for nostalgia. That is a bit of a danger that the team might be super complacent because we're already through. Obviously, everyone here can go to the under-21s because none of them are even registered for this match except for Apollinatos. And I don't see myself needing a backup goaltender. The only time I ever sub goaltenders is when the main goaltender gets hurt. Same thing with the reserves. They can all go there because pretty much everyone here is unregistered. So I believe these matches are taking place the day after the San Pedro match. Panama wants a friendly with Canada on March 27th. Absolutely. I will accept that invitation. Ward is capable of playing the forthcoming fixture, so he recovered from his bruised without any complications, so he recovered from his bruised ankle. Duncliffe is capable of playing the fixture with no complications. Minkubi is not quite fully fit and should be monitored, so he's having a hard time shaking off that ankle. He's still only on 78% condition. That's kind of too bad. I hope to have him in this game. I might still be able to sub him in. Oh, we're back to the brutally hot weather. 34 degrees. Very good pitch, though. That's nice. But this is going to be hard on our team stamina, and given that we don't have the best recovery in the world, that's going to be a little rough. No changes needed to be made day of. That's always nice. Pretty much everyone's good. Mirsavovich is slightly below the level I'd like. Cinnamella is slightly below the level I'd like. Everyone else is good. So, we're bringing a very solid team today. Wait, Fountain is... Okay, yeah, that is as good as I can make Fountain. We do have Minkube on the bench if we need him. Have we actually never given Johnson a squad number? How'd I miss that? I don't expect to bring Johnson in today, but give the poor boy a number at least. And it looks like we're actually on a nicely sized pitch. Of course, it's in the hot weather when we don't want to be running all over a big pitch. But that's good. This will favor our wing play. Because when you're set up to play wing play, narrow pitches are the bane of your existence. And I've been finding, like, what they say, most Northern African stadiums are very narrow. Very small pitches that don't favor our playstyle at all. So it's nice to be on a big one here. Great play by Fountain there. You can see why he's one of the best players on our team. And immediately a goal from Safema. It's only his second of the season, assisted by Saketlong. Unfortunate attendance for continental football. I would have hoped they'd draw more. I guess their club isn't that good though, so the fan base is lacking. Doesn't really matter to me. This is an away game. I'm not getting any money from this, but I feel bad when they're playing continental football and getting that little attendance. They're going to try to park your bus tactic that so many teams in this tournament have used against us, but this pitch is a lot wider, so they're going to have a lot more trouble than a lot of the teams have. I think we'll be able to find openings. Steno nearly got his goal per game there. I think 33 just played Saketlong onside. And he did. So we've got a corner. Not sure why no one was in the box for that corner. I give these guys credit. They're putting up a lot more fight than I expected after what we did to them in the first leg. They haven't at any point looked in danger of equalizing, but they're putting up a good fight. I would really like to get a second goal, just in case they get lucky at some point. Oh, so close. And they almost got an own goal there. Adam got a yellow card. That's not ideal. I think he might be suspended for our next African game. Long, assisted by Stano, gets that 15th goal of his and our second for the game. So now we're sitting comfortably. Now even if San Pedro get lucky, we're still ahead by a goal. I feel like there's more goals for us as they get tired too. Stano's been struggling with his finishing today. I say like I'm really familiar with his game, having only had him for 3 games prior to this. Nice intercept by Senamela there. And Long's been playing excellent today. So he gives us a very weak strike, but I mean the guy's always in the right place. I really can't criticize him too much. And he did draw us another corner. They're a lot less fresh than we are too. I wonder how recent their last game was, because it looks like they're getting way more tired than we are. I mean, we're playing in grueling conditions, but our team's not exactly known for phenomenal stamina. I think maybe some of the new players are making a difference to that, but I mean, guys like Stano came over from Europe. They're definitely not used to playing in African heat. Great defending by Adam there. And also, a lot of our new signings aren't in the Champions League team because I had limited changes I was allowed to make. I had to leave people out that I'd rather have in. I think once I get out of this group stage, so one more match, then I can change another player. So I can slowly start to ease the team into the formation I'd actually want it to be. Beautiful goal from Long, assisted by Stano again. His 16th of the season, and now we're up 3. This match is going about how I anticipated at this point. I mean, we did this to Al Alai last game, and this is a weaker team than Al Alai, so the only thing that might have been acting against us was the fact that this is a road game. See if we can get Matengwa into the game at all. He hasn't really done much today. And there's Stano's goal of the match. 4th goal of the season, assisted by Matengwa. 4-0 now for us. It's going to be interesting to see who gets picked for player of the match. Because sure, Saketlong had 2 goals. But Stano has 2 assists and a goal. So I think he might be slightly better, but I'm not sure. Still, to be going into 4 up on the road in brutal conditions, I'm very happy with this match. Now, as long as we can make it through the second half without anyone getting hurt. Because when we're playing in 35-degree weather, that's always a danger. Now, we've told them to get stuck in, so they're going to be tackling harder, which increases the risk of injury for your opponent, but I think it also increases it for you slightly because they can fall on you and stuff. So that's a little risky, but I don't want to turn it off because it's a big reason why we can hold on to this sort of lead. Not sure what that attempt was from Matengwa. He does seem to be having a lackluster game today. I think the only reason he's in is I couldn't name Moses to this team. Because I believe, if I remember correctly, Moses was unregistered. And so far this game, he's not making a strong case for me to not change that when I can make one substitution next time. I've got Lakala to play at left wing back, which is the other position that I might want to make a change at. And he's just not here because he's still on rest. But, we're going to VAR for a foul on Matengwa. So he drew it, and that's a penalty for Saketlong. And he makes it. That's his 3rd hat trick in the bag. He's going to be player of the match now. 17th goal of the season. All that discussion of whether it's going to be him or Stano, it's going to be Saketlong. He's gotten the hat trick. That definitely outweighs a couple of assists in the goal. He very nearly got an assist off Mattia there. Everyone's playing pretty well. Okay, apparently Matengwa is playing a lot better than it looks. He just must be doing the really good stuff off camera. Because he's having a very good game. Adam's having a bit of a weak game and is on a yellow. So I'm going to take him off for Minkubi, who's still not getting proper time to recover because he keeps getting put in, but I don't want to risk losing Adam and going down a player, so I'm going to put Minkubi in. He is okay. He's not really at the caliber I'd like, but I can do a like-for-like shift on him and get Adam out of there before he gets me into trouble with his yellow card. They really want that attack up that side to work, and it's just not going through. And eventually they get frustrated and make a mistake, and Mirosavic comes away with the ball, back up to Saketlong. Can he get 4? Yes. Easy 18th goal from Peter Saketlong, assisted by Tao. We're now up by 6. And all that interesting discussion of who's actually having the better game is completely out the window. It's Saketlong. It's 100% Saketlong. Doesn't look like any of my fans traveled for this match either, unless they've got a really weird away section. That's a little disappointing. I was hoping to have an away section completely full still. Okay, everyone is playing phenomenally. Oh no, Moses is registered for this competition. Not sure why we didn't have him in. I'm going to take Stano off for Duncliffe. I don't really have a good like-for-like sub on him, but he's getting very tired. And when everyone's playing this good, there's no point in worrying about who's having the worst game. Duncliffe is pretty dire as a winger, but he can do it. I don't actually need more goals. And this reduces the risk of me getting Stano injured. Or just too tired to play next time. I'm going to take Saketlong off with my next substitution. I already knew that when I was doing that one, but I still want to wait till the 80th just in case someone gets hurt. I really don't like using my last sub early if I can avoid it, because that creates a nightmare scenario of having to play 20 minutes with 10 men because you got an injury. Yeah, I know Saketlong's exhausted. I'm taking him off in 3 minutes. Settle down. I suppose he's probably a little more frantic to get off there because it's so brutally hot. He's definitely not having a good time right now. That was a terrible strike. Oh, they should be embarrassed. They almost actually got a goal there, though. I think there is a goal in this for them if they want it. Alright, let's get Saketlong out of here. We'll put Johnson in after I was talking about how I don't see Johnson coming off the bench today. He's the only person that can sub in that striker. We'll put him in just so that Saketlong has some time to rest. I don't want to resort to starting Minkube or Nixelia too often, so resting Saketlong a bit is definitely a nice idea. You can see there he's starting to make bad decisions. That was the case where he could have easily deked that goaltender again, same way he did on his last goal, and he just didn't have the energy. Yeah, Johnson's fine to just keep playing as an advanced forward. He's not remotely impressive in this role, but I'm more worried about getting Saketlong off the pitch than getting a good player on the pitch. And if they score on us, it's not going to be because we had an inferior striker in. Mirosavic has been having a hell of a game. I feel like he's underrated with his 2.5-star rating. I've had him in for most games this season, and he usually does good work. Nice attempt from Johnson there. He's trying to make his mark. Don't know what Senamella was thinking with that throw in, but we got away with it. Duncliffe probably actually had a good idea with his cross. He's just not very good. Oh, look, Mirosavic again breaking it up. I do think he's one of my better defensive players. Oh, and Johnson does score. It's his second goal of the season, assisted by Safema. How is it his second goal of the season and I didn't have a number for him yet? That's a little confusing. Beautiful goal from him anyway. Now that we've scored 7 against both Ally and San Pedro, I kind of have to make it a personal mission to score 7 in our last match this group 2, just to round it out. Send a message to whoever gets us next round. Referee did good in this game. We bullied San Pedro to a shocking amount. Nedlovo made his 200th appearance for us. Mirosavic made his 325th. Duncliffe made his debut. And Johnson made his 125th career appearance. Okay, that's why Johnson hadn't... That must be why Johnson had a goal, but not a number. We must have signed him from someone else in the league. And then I forgot that we did that. That would make sense. Because goals for the season carry over from one team to another. No, Duncliffe was the only person to make the debut today. No shock there. Saketlong was the player of the match. He's become our star player. And the South African boss was there to scout Nedlovo, Matthias, Safema, Fountain, Matenjwa, and Saketlong. Oh, The Cote d'Ivoire coach was also there scouting Kouakou for. I guess he plays for San Pedro because he sure doesn't play for us. I forget a lot of details between these recording sessions, but not that much. I would recognize a name that was a regular in the team. But anyway, those were a couple of successful matches. We'll check the schedule to see what we've got coming up next before we sign out here. Next up, we've got an SA Cup first round match against Chippa United. That's actually going to be a little tough. Chippa are good this year. But I think with our new team, we are better. I feel like if I was facing Chippa back in December, I'd be really worried. Right now, I think this is going to be quite an easy match. And then we've got Cape Town City, who are sitting in 12th right now, so that's not a big deal. Overall, I really like the way things are progressing for us this year. I thought it was going to be a struggle against finances, but I managed to convince the board to spend some money, and now things are actually looking good for us. And what is going on with April? I just peeked ahead a little bit. I only have 2 matches in April. And then a bunch in May. So we basically get another rest period there. So March is a little congested, but not awful. So yeah, rest of the year's looking pretty good for us right now. Anyway, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed watching me just bully a couple of other teams that were not on our level. And hopefully you'll tune in next time when we face someone who's actually potentially challenged in Chippa. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.